to Stock and Options Trading Unlocked.
If you want to learn how to make 6 or 7 figures a year trading 2 hours a day, this is the show for you.
We're here to talk about everything trading, weekly news, tips, and special guests to get you motivated and profitable.
Don't forget, everything you hear is opinion only and not to be considered financial advice.
Here are your hosts, Athul Patel and David Picard.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our latest episode of Stocks and Options Trading Unlocked.
Hello.
On today's episode, we have we're going to talk about personal well-being later, and so I hope that's a good topic for folks. I'm curious how many people are going to actually show up for this topic. My guess it's not going to be that many, but let's find out. I mean, I'm really curious, right? Because it's an important subject, but I don't think enough people think too much about it.
Don't put value or prioritize it enough, because there's not always the thought of the direct correlation between the work that goes into that and the end result of, let's say, account gain or profits, right? So I think because of that, the third degree away, that tends to happen. But it's
protein shakes,
extremely important. Yeah, you hit the gym today. I told you.
I did.
I'm proud of you. You've been getting after it lately. I like it. It's good. Need it.
I do need it. I do need it badly, but it's been.
We all do.
It's nice to not have that crazy. I think it was a month, maybe 6 weeks of like nonstop coughing. Still got a cough, but it's not as bad as it was.
Well, you almost couldn't talk for a couple weeks. You were like getting hoarse, by the end of the first couple hours.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. So I still have it. What
about well-being?
Yeah, personal well-being, and so. I guess let's talk about what's going on in the market. I mean, let's do our market madness.
Good stuff.
And
up next, Market Madness.
All right, so guys, what a rally this last couple days. Talked about that if we get over that 380, we should go to 390 by Friday. Mentioned that earlier in the week, and we're at 389. I think we missed 390 by like 20 cents today. So I'm kind of thinking we'll hit it. We may even hit 400 next week, 410. We'll have to see. So there's a lot of different patterns I think that's kind of going on, and right now we had that big rip, and we had the big dump. Then we had the hold, and now we're going back to test where we broke down from, right? Or that previous pop, right?
Yep.
If you notice, looks like a double bottom, higher low, right? So when it's kind of set up like that, we have earnings season coming. I think we're kind of getting a bit of a rally and some buying ahead of this earnings season. Everything is still negative as far as I can tell. Otherwise, I mean, Fed's still planning on raising interest rates. They did still say they might have to go more aggressive, and they're willing to wreck the economy if that's what they need to do to control inflation. Meanwhile, we rallied hard. They said that yesterday. We rallied hard. Today's Thursday. They still rallied on that. And
I think tomorrow's a big deal.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's a make or break day. The S&P has not seen a 5-day win streak in 2022.
Has it not? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're right.
This is 4.
Today,
okay.
it's 3 for me.
wrong.
Oh no, I'm looking at Meta, not SPY.
I could be wrong, but I believe that we haven't seen a 5-day win streak in 2022.
Wow.
Which means I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that tomorrow's Friday. I want to get some cheapy. I'm hoping they're not going to gap us up too much. But if we get a nice little dip and rip tomorrow, and we clear 390, I'm hoping we actually, you know what, if we can dip and open around 388, 387.50 maybe. I think I might, and the 390, if the 390 calls or 395 calls or maybe 392, whatever calls I can get for 10 cents, I'll maybe throw $1,000 at it. Get like 100 contracts and see what happens. Because if we get to 395, that'll go to 30 grand. If it goes to 400, that'll go to 100 grand for $1,000. So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think it's a worthwhile bet just to like, whatever.
Definitely. One thing I also noticed today that leads me to think we could have a rip, semiconductors bounced pretty hard after the first hour. And sometimes, and once again, it doesn't always happen again, but I've seen that before, and it leads to multi-day market.
We have AMD. Well, what may have kicked this off was that Samsung had their earnings. Yeah. And I think I mentioned that their earnings came out good. And that's semis, right? And so ever since that, we nailed this week. Gap down reversal on NVIDIA. Remember that 140?
Yeah, it's huge.
And so we've been running since. I mean, that's a $20 move since that. And we're hitting 160 before the end of the week, so that's pretty nice. 10% plus move on that stock. Actually, many stocks. But yeah, so it's really kind of wild what's going on with the market, right? So we've had these ups, we've had these downs. I don't think we're done selling. I really don't. I do think we are in a situation where there's going to be a pretty big short squeeze. We have a number of names that are squeezing. We hit 19K on Bitcoin. Actually, I hit 18K. 19K was my my buy target when it was 42K. We came down right to it, and so now I don't know if we're done selling on Bitcoin or not. I think it's gonna go sideways for a bit, but I think we might rally or run a squeeze a bit. Saw a bunch of inflows on Bitcoin in the short side. Same thing with coin. People got loaded up on shorts. So I think we're in for a squeeze, actually. And retail loads up on the short side after the big move has already happened. People are asking to get run over. I hate to say it. Be careful. So had a few good trades this week, and we had the I only did one where I only made one slide for the $1,000 bets, but we had some pretty cool bets yesterday that I had shared and planned and talked about. So that was like the SPY calls in the afternoon. I talked about those calls for 15 cents. And they went to I think they went to 90 cents to $1. And then after the Fed meeting. The Fed notes came out. And they ripped. And so, that's 15 cents to, let's just say 90 cents. Just to make the numbers simple. On a $1,000 bet, let's see, 15 cents for the contracts. So 1,000 divided by 15 will put you at what looks like 66 contracts.
Around 60.
Let's say 60 contracts. 60 contracts. So if you sold it between 60 cents and let's just say 90 cents or 80 cents, that's what? Oh yeah, I mean, if you even sell, that's what, 4x. You're selling it for $4,000 to $6,000 basically. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Got to 90 cents. It's on about 5,000. So from $1,000. So four bagger, let's just say, make a 4x profit. That was pretty good. The neat thing was reading that price action. It worked out nice. Great risk reward trade there. Let's talk about this other $1,000 bet. Sorry, I forgot to do our transition to the that section.
Up next, $1,000
I
bets.
was counting myself. It looks like that was correct. We haven't seen 5 bids
Yeah.
in a row.
So we'll see if it does. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at 400. I mean, I like 400 calls for next week. We talked about it this morning. Meta this morning. So I was looking for stuff, like everything was running. I don't like chasing, especially not in this market, right? Like I didn't want to be chasing stuff. So I was looking for stuff that was looking for support and relatively weak compared to everything else that's been running. Basically, I was looking for a laggard. And so today we found one. We had this laggard with, could have got in actually at 80 cents, 90 cents, but just for the sake of the numbers to be easy, could have got 10 contracts for $1 here. And the idea was basically all of tech's running. And I had, brought it up in our pre-market prep today that I'm looking for this test of 172.50. And if we clear 172.50, Meta could run up $20 in next week, and so possibly, and then sometimes who knows what happens with today, right? So, think about the 172.50s were $1, and if we clear that, maybe we go to 180 tomorrow. That means that this could go to like $7, $8 from $1, right? So it got to $2, so that's a good trade for this. Maybe sell half or 3/4 of it or 80% of it, and then leave a couple runners in there, and who knows what happens. So that was kind of my thinking on this. We reloaded on the drop back to $1.50 in the afternoon. But that's a nice clean trade, right? Nothing. It's not like these, you guys have seen, people see us do these amazing 10, 20 bagger trades sometimes, and it doesn't have to be about that. This is our bread and butter. This is my bread and butter. This is what I want to see and do every day.
And I think that's like, that leading me to something, if you're finished, that I kind of wanted to add in today. And I think this is something I've been seeing and that I want people to recognize, what market we're in, right? So as you talk about, we've had some incredible gains throughout the beginning of this year and really till now, but guys, we're in summer doldrums. Like this is fact. Remember, volume sometimes is drying up. We're having, big traders on vacation, as they say, right? This tends to be cyclically the slower time of the year. There is more chop. Size down a little bit. Give yourself room.
Yeah.
Let stuff play out. You don't have to knock it out the park every day.
You don't even have to trade every day. Like if you're seeing that, hey, this is a tough market environment for you right now, and you're struggling to trade it, take a week off. Take a couple days, or take the month off if you need. It's okay, right? Or trade much smaller, like David's saying, like trade smaller, and then when things get back to normal, then you time to hit it again. But guys, I'm done at 10:30, 11 Mac a lot of times now. There's no reason. I put in the trades. I'm gone. Put in a stop. Nothing for me to do except take profit or take the loss. But I don't sit here and watch the screen trying to like milk every little leg and move during the summer doldrums, because it's a great way to blow up your account.
And we talked about this a couple weeks ago about, just how it's going to be that time of year. And so we had mentioned, I know I mentioned, because like for me, this is kind of part of the rules. Like you start to, like for me, I want to size down a little. And sometimes I'll still have great full size days where, hey, the market's moving. We've had some great days recently, but I tend to start my days with smaller positions until I feel confident and know what's happening with the market condition of the day. Is it going to be a choppy day? Are we going to find trend, see some extended unexpected moves potentially? Is there maybe economic events, the president talking, something happening that's going to cause volume to come on in and give us the momentum that we look for day in and day? So guys, not to harp on it, I'll stop here, but just a reminder, you don't have to be full sized on stuff like this. When it gets choppy, give yourself some space, If you want, give yourself a little more time. Go out. You've heard me a couple times recently on voice calling the trade out, and I'm saying, hey, I'm probably going to look for Friday or maybe Monday. And there's a reason. It's just
Yeah, you don't have
not
to take
trying.
0 day contracts, right? Like, guys, that's gambling. I mean, I still like to do it, but it's defined risk reward. But by the time the afternoon comes around, I better be out, right? Unless I'm way in the money, I
Or
want to
repositioning.
be out of those contracts because I kind of botched it a little bit this afternoon at the end, because one of the rules I actually have is I don't want to open trades in the last half an hour, and I got a nice pullback, and I'm like, okay, great, and then but I totally forgot about the last half hour rule, and I reloaded, and it got wiped. I mean, it dipped, and then I kind of had another order for my wish order, but I wanted that wish order to actually fill not in the last half an hour. Right, and so that filled, and then luckily it bounced right back to where my other entry was, and I was able to just kind of like squirm out. But if I waited like 2 seconds to go, oh no, this has got to pay me. If I waited maybe another 2 seconds, it was I literally hit my thing and then dropped. I would have got wiped out, and then all the gains I had from the earlier would have been gone.
Yeah.
And because I had too much size, because I had the initial entry and then I had the sized entry and a 250 that I was looking for earlier, and I forgot to cancel the order, and it was a little rough. But yeah, so I generally, unless I'm looking for a swing trade, that I'm planning to open and hold overnight, generally I don't want to be opening new trades. At least I don't want to be joining the trend in the last half an hour for the same day.
I like that.
Yeah,
For
the
sure.
last half an hour, I don't think it's worth it. It's not the risk.
It's very common. Yeah, it feels like a very common sense style rule to take, right? And if you do want to join it and you're committed to that idea, just go out in time. Give yourself extra time.
Yeah, take extra time for it.
If you want to force it,
Yeah.
at least be like generous to yourself.
Yeah, because the zero day you can get whacked. And a lot of time, especially if you've had a big run, you're gonna get profit taking. And we did say that, right? Remember in the last hour and a half, I said, hey, it looks like we might have profit taking coming in now, and we nailed it. I mean, I don't know what it is, but right now it's like those sell targets I have been on fire.
And I didn't take a look because I was really done for the day, but they had some pretty, there was some pretty big volume in those 3,900. So it wouldn't be a surprise when you look at that compared to everything else that it ends up making those pretty much. That's where we end up, on the day, and they're almost worthless, right?
Yep. And
don't be a bag holder, is what that tells you.
Oh yeah, you don't need that. Well, actually, the 3,900 is actually the spot from this morning I was also looking for to start a short position because I love the risk reward there. So we'll see what tomorrow what comes with tomorrow, right? But overall,
overnight and pre-market,
the charts do look like we're set up for a rally back at least to 395, if not to 400 to 410 into next week before we have this move back under 360 later. So I think we'll over the next couple of weeks where I think we might be bullish. I was thinking next week might be sell, but I'm starting to think it's actually the week later, as we move into the Fed meeting in July 26th.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, so $1,000 bets. You have some pretty neat ones. There was a pretty neat one on GME, where we had the short versus that 130 idea, and then that 124 for locking in, and then it went right to it's ridiculous how it went right to the levels. I don't know if you saw that coin today. And I had mentioned to the group that if anybody had gotten short, not coin, GME, I'm sorry. And I kind of like to mention that when something new comes onto the watch list, that they're usually worth paying attention to. And so I'll bring this chart up, and I'll just add it to the $1,000 bet screens here. And let me just go to the slides. So just adding one more slide here, and let's add file. So I can show this to everybody. There we go. I think this is it. Okay, so if you take a look, guys, check this out. So the plan this morning was they had the 4-to-1 stock split, and on voice or during our pre-market prep video, I was talking about, hey, if we pop into 130, I like it for the short. And then I'm looking for possible dip and rip. And so we had this double top at 130, and then it faded right to this level. Look at this, 123.80, and this low was what? 123.60. And I was like, hey guys, don't forget that, this is hitting a level for our process. This is a great spot to lock in profits if you took the short. And then if you're bullish and you're thinking that, hey, GME is going to run over 130, this is the spot to get in. Not here, not here. I like to buy in here, right? And it came right to this. We got the dip, right to the level. It was like, perfect. And got the higher low. And then we, got this rip after 130 up to here. Guys, those 130 calls down here, $6-7. Here, $1.50. Okay, I think it was $1.50 or so. That's where you want to buy. And then you have your thesis, but you want to buy it here. And it went right through. And so these hit like $6 or $7, I think, later in the day. So this was pretty nice. But like using those levels, there's still some pretty nice trade opportunities out there.
There's been some great opportunities, even though it's just, I feel more selective.
Got to be selective. For me, I don't want to be chasing what was tough today was some of these names. They were so juiced. The contracts were super juiced. They eventually worked, but we're not getting the multiples that at least I'm used to, because for whatever reason. And it's okay. It is what it is. But with that said, I think we should go ahead and move into our tip of the week. What do you guys think? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Up next, tip of the week.
We got a question from Sandman. The question is, how far into the open do you guys usually start to trade? And that's a wonderful question, and I think we both can answer that for you. Spectre, you want to go ahead and take that first, and then I'll give my
I actually have setups for each moment. So depending upon the open and the way it opens, there's a setup for where I'll want to take trades. And then if I don't get those setups, then I'm waiting. And I like to wait anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. And what matters to me more is, are things at levels, is the price action matching my planning? And if it doesn't, then there's no trade, right? And sometimes it comes in the first 2 minutes for what my idea is, and sometimes it takes an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours for the idea to develop. I hope that answered your question, Sadman.
And I'll say my take on it is fairly similar. If I'm taking a trade within the first really 15 or first 30 minutes, it's going to be pre-planned based on pre-market action and the levels in Spectre's pre-market commentary. I'm going to formulate a plan somewhat based on that. Now, my opening orders for that will already be in, and I'll already know where I want to be. I want to open that position, where I want to get stopped at, and where I'm taking profits. Also, those are going to be a quarter of size of a normal position for me. Now, I will not mess with those plans, meaning they either happen or don't, okay? I accept that risk, I move on. Now, once I've seen price action for usually 30 minutes, I reassess my actual plans and I say, based on price action, maybe I might change. Instead of being bullish, I might go bearish, or vice versa. Or I may go, you know what? I'm not liking the volume in this stock, and I'm just not going to trade it. You know what? Today's volume sucks. It's choppy, and I shouldn't be trading today. So that's how I'm going to do it and assess it. So I kind of taken like almost two different phases, where one, I have my pre-plans that are done, and those are like very fixed and stern. And then once I adjust based on the price action, I see if I like a new setup, I can make a new plan for it. I hope that answered.
Yeah, can you let me know how he responded?
Thank you.
Okay,
You're welcome.
cool. Yeah, folks, feel free to ask questions. We're here to answer them. So with that said, let's get into our topic of the day, or of this episode, just personal well-being. And I got a little picture of some cereal. So you got to make sure you also eat right, depending on whatever's appropriate for your health.
Cereal?
Cereal, yogurt. I think it's
That's
yogurt.
cereal to you?
It's granola. Sorry.
That looks like, yogurt, some fruit, and granola.
Well, I guess when I have cereal, it's usually granola. So.
You're so healthy.
I mean, I do every now and then walk by and I look at those Frosted Flakes. I can't remember what year was the last time I had some Frosted Flakes, or Captain Crunch. Good. That's a good. All that craziness. But yeah. So we want to talk about why it's important to have take care of yourself, right? So let's go back and talk a little bit about trading. So I believe it's 30% technical, 60% psychological, and 10% some luck. And but if you have good process and you have your psychology right, it doesn't matter if you have that luck or not. You can make your luck. But some people are just crazy lucky, and they'll do some stuff that I would never do, and then it ends up working, and just like they're just lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of think about that. So if you think of it this way, right? Think about how much energy we devote to our setups, our trades, our analysis, all this stuff. But if psychology is 60% of it, there needs, your psychology is needs to be taken care of, right? And so you have to have good personal well-being. You need to the key somewhere. Just got an alert. Yeah, so that, and then so what affects your psychology, right? So that's going to be your mental health. It's also going to be your physical health. What are some of the factors that cause you to get caught in a cycle when you're forcing trades and everything, right? Or you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. It's just you lose stamina, like mental stamina, and doing some things to I did transition. Okay, great.
I mean,
it's important it's important to take care of yourself. I mean, David, what else do you want to say on this?
I just want to say, just like almost anything in life, right? You get you get out what you put into it. You know what I mean? And you really, really need to take care of yourself, because guess what? We only have this once, right? So make sure you're taking good care of yourself, guys. Everything has an impact. Once again, it's all connected. So you cannot your well-being is affected by, like he's saying, not just your mental health, your physical, right? So you can't just let one go, take care of the other. It's a cycle. So it all goes together, guys. Just really small steps go a long way too, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You don't have to make a massive change right away. Sorry, go.
yeah, no,
Come
no,
on.
absolutely. Like you just doing some things, right? Like, um, say that,
Be conscious, a conscious decision every day
yeah, like,
towards the things that you know are important for long-term viability, sustainability, right? It's just like, you know, I I know I can't go sleep deprived forever, even though it's tough because I have, you know, a, a new child so in my life. So, but it's not sustainable. So you got to at some point find a way to get some sleep, be able to recover, get back into the grind.
and so toward that, this comes back down to where this is all part of that whole building your trading business. What business processes do you need to support your personal well-being? Right? And that's where doing some, we'll go through this, talking about these different things: self-checks, mindfulness, exercise, celebrations. You should celebrate when you do well, and not beat yourself up when you do wrong. Definitely analyze when things don't work, but beating yourself up isn't necessarily going to help you for tomorrow. It's actually going to lead you down a road where a destructive spiral for many people. So you want to nip that quickly. Stress. This can be stressful. So we'll talk a little bit about stress relief. And then mental focus. You need to have that. So why don't we get into those slides? So self-checks, right? So the purpose of self-checks is like, I kind of like think it's important to do it pre-market. Do it maybe before you enter trades or after you take trades. Just kind of check in on yourself. Hey, did I do that right? Did I not do it right? What could I have done different or better? How am I feeling? Like, do I feel like I should have made a lot more today, or I haven't made as much as I should have because I messed up on something yesterday? Am I carrying some baggage that's going to affect the way I'm supposed to properly execute trades today, right? And so you want to check in on that at pre-market. You want to check on that before and after your trades, and then also end of day, right? Because say that you are carrying you've created some sort of issue or some problem or something good or bad or great happened, and you're bringing this into your next day. You want to kind of, at the end of the day, you can also check on it and go, hey, I need to make a plan for addressing how I'm feeling right now, so it doesn't carry into tomorrow and trigger a problem. And this can be good and bad. I mean, like David's called me after having a multi-day monster gains success and says, hey, I'm feeling like, I'm worried, I'm scared because I've had so many like killer days. And I'm like,
day's gotta come.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, just make a plan. And if you need to slow down, like size down, then size down. But, sometimes when you're on fire, you're on fire. You let that run, but then as soon as you make one bad trade, size way down or be done. Are you still there? Okay, you look like you
Me?
froze for a second.
I'm here. No, it's true. The one thing I've become, or at least I feel I'm fairly good at over time, is I've become pretty good at being aware of like myself and some of those feelings or patterns, and so I kind of been able to be aware of them, either talk to them, like call someone like yourself, right, reach out, or at least it helps me walk myself through them and go, okay, I know I need to size down now because of that, right?
Right.
So it allows you to control yourself, right? When you're aware, you can just make good decisions. I mean, you've heard me talk multiple times when I'll go, all right, I'm grounded to a small account, or, I don't want to trade SPX. I'm going to trade SPY just because I want to keep my, gains on the day and I don't want to risk it.
Yep. Same thing with bad days, right? Are you carrying this emotion, if you've had a bad day, of make it backitis, right? That's deadly, because when you get make it backitis, you get revenge trading, you get all this stuff happening. Sometimes the best thing to do is, hey, I am trading with make it back eyes. I need to take a few days off. I need to go mentally reset. I got to go, say that, you know what? It's not about making it back. It's about, I just got to trade well. I got to trade right. And then if I'm trading right, I will make it back naturally. It'll just happen. But if I focus on making it happen and I have to make it happen, then you're going to try to force things, or you're going to second guess, people, you might end up second guessing yourself. All kinds of other issues can happen. So I'm hoping that you can avoid that. So.
And if anyone out there has any questions regarding self-checks or has any other ones that they have used and that they feel are, a good way to get a pulse on yourself, let us know.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go to the next slide. Not moving? Nope.
A little mindfulness.
Mindfulness, right? So, there's so many different things to this. So, this is mindfulness. Some people, there's also meditation as a form to bring mindfulness to you. But really, it's kind of taking stock of where you are. How are you feeling? What's going on in your mind? Just getting centered and getting focused, right? And so there's a bunch of different techniques and process that you can do for mindfulness, and there's breathing exercises you can do, and where you just focus on your breathing and different methods of breathing, where you're taking deeper breaths and exhaling, and in certain timing of doing that can just elevate your thinking, your consciousness, and just, again, it comes back down to doing these things help you become aware of what you're, trading. When I was talking about that psychology, what's going on, what's going to affect your ability to analyze, to plan, to execute, right? And so all these other things kind of can go into that. So breathing, some folks like to do yoga, right? And that brings in some physical aspect as well as paying attention to the way you're moving, and stretching your body out. And so that could be a technique that could help you. Another one is just being aware, focus, and this awareness and mindfulness of yourself. So you're just sitting back. And
I think mindfulness mindfulness exercise is like a really important one for traders to actually exercise and try to understand. It's
kind of, going through thinking about, hey, what am I thinking about
different
today?
parts
What am
of your body.
How's my body?
Yeah.
Is my back hurting? Is my leg hurting? Am I hungry? Being aware doesn't mean you have to take action on anything, but just becoming aware of whatever's going on with you. Maybe you're emotional about something. Maybe you got into an argument with a loved one, and that's affecting you. Maybe you got some email that is distracting you. If any of that's going on, maybe you should consider not trading, or you need to spend some time putting whatever that is into a box and compartmentalizing it, and then going, okay, I'm going to deal with this at XYZ time, right? And so you that's what I like to do. So if there's something that I got to address, I'll just put it into a box and go, okay, at 4 o'clock or at 2 o'clock or at noon, I'm going to go and open that box up and deal with whatever is bothering me. But until then, it's off my radar. Some people can do that, some people can't, right? But if you have something that's going to distract you, and not let you be able to do what you need to do, then it's important for you to consider not trading for the day, or trading a lot smaller, at least in my opinion. David, anything you want to add?
No, I think you covered it well. Like I said, practicing mindfulness is, I think, really important as a trader. I just think everyone, if you haven't done it, just look up a YouTube video on how to exercise it. Reach out to one of us. We'll be happy to send you a link to something for
Yeah.
mindfulness or any sort of meditation, stuff like that, feel free to talk to us about it.
It's also part of our THT program, and
Yeah.
we also have a psychotherapist that helps.
Yeah.
um, and as part of one of our once a week classes that really focuses on the psychology of trading, and because it's that important. So
And I've shared this with people before. You may have heard me talk about it. Like I think it's extremely important for sleep too. So I
yes,
actually have a mindfulness exercise, and I listen to a specific sleep music um, every night. And it's really how I go to bed. It's a mindfulness walkthrough, and then goes into just basically very calming, soothing music that helps you get deeper sleep. And I've actually been able to watch my sleep improve uh, based on a tracking device I use. That's also my alarm.
oh, that's cool.
So, yeah.
Very cool. All right,
So I highly recommend doing mindfulness right before you go to bed. Very important too.
exercise. So I think exercise is a big thing, especially if you are coming from a losing streak, or I mean, I think it's important regardless of for every day. But I hope the stream is going okay. It looks like it's just chopping, or maybe my CPU is having a problem. But the
I see exercise up.
yeah, I think it's a. I mean, I just try to close out a bunch of
Just a little laggy.
browsers, and let me just quit out of Thinkorswim, and um, maybe that'll help with the CPU. Close out a bunch of browser windows because that's probably taking a bunch. Um, and hopefully that did it. This one too. Okay, that should take care of it. All right, so you want to have a daily routine for exercise, whether it's going for walks regularly, hitting the gym, um, but it's you know there's just a lot of health benefits to it, and it helps reduce some of your stress, right? So it will help balance you out. I think that's one way of looking at it. I think it should help it balance you out. Um, Also, trading to me, kind of, you got to be confident what you're doing, and I think when you're exercising and you're feeling better and you're feeling good and looking better, your personal confidence goes up, and that should help with your trading too.
Um, But one interesting thing that I would say, and I'm all for exercise. I've been a junkie for, I don't know, 15 years or something of working out, whether it's once a day, twice a day. Um, I used to be a little crazy with it. Now I try to do about 5 times a week if I can, and try to get out once a day for a little cardio. And that was something that, I mean, I used to do cardio separate as a second workout. Now I add it to my routine every morning, and I'm really loving it lately. I take a nice walk in the morning. It's just phenomenal. Outside, I feel like one, it wakes you up. And I was listening to some Stanford, Harvard health guru, and he was talking about how it's a really good thing to add to your morning routine for like healthy habits. And one of the reasons is just that whole like moving forward, the sun in your like starts to open your eyes, really like gets to you, and it adds. I don't. You can look up the health reasons, or I'll find a link to it, and maybe I'll put the video in the commentary. But I've really loved it and enjoyed it recently. I take my dog with me. It's been amazing. So,
Cool.
highly recommend
I didn't
everyone
know that
try
you
it.
were doing that now, so that's great. Um, all right,
I
so
can get out of my house for a few minutes. Come on.
no, I think it's great. The so I moved from my office, and so I was a little bit. One thing I was worried about was, one thing that was nice was that I had a nice 15, 20-minute walk to the office each morning.
Yeah.
And it was nice, right? Starting the day with that walk. But now that I've moved from the office and set up the home office, I was really worried about that. So the nice thing is that after the workout, I'm still getting now. My gym is 15 minutes away, walk. So
Nice.
normally I do like a 5-minute warm up, but now I'm getting the warm up on the way to the gym, and then I got the walk back. So as a nice cool down. So that's kind of nice. But there's more. There's more to do. And so yeah, I'm pretty. It does make a big difference. When
You feel better.
when you feel better,
You're
you
more
trade better.
confident in everything. You're right. It's just
It
it's
also
all
just what I found is that when you're working out, you become, at least for me, it made a difference that I noticed was that I would actually trade less.
interesting.
I would trade less when I work out because if for whatever reason, I say, hey, you know what? Unless it's an absolutely great trade, I don't want it. And for some reason, working out kind of makes that feel a little more okay to be more patient. I don't know what it is, but that's what it does for me.
I can see it.
And so, all right, let's move on to celebrations. Now, might sound a little surprising. Okay. I don't think people celebrate enough when they're trading well. They like to focus on when they don't and all the negative. And for trading, you need to be constructive. It's okay to, but you got to be constructive with when you have a bad trading day. And just say, hey, this is just another step toward me getting better, but I need to figure out what went wrong. What did I do wrong? Okay, what's missing? What don't I know? Or it could just be that, hey, you know what? Today, I did everything right. Market just didn't agree with me. And that's okay. Right? And then on the flip side of that, when you do well, celebrate it. Hey, I did amazing on this. Okay, I want to remember this trade setup that I did and I followed and document it. And I'm going to go, okay, next time this happens, I'm going to do it again. And then you do it 3, 4, 5 times, you repeat it. Celebrate that. Remind yourself that there's a reason. These are the trades I want. I don't want all this other noise that's like these mediocre trades, right? You want, the bread and butter. But when I say mediocre, I'm like, to me, I don't want to get into a trade where I'm risking 50% and make a 10% gain. Okay, that's just, I don't like that. And
mediocre. I think it's over trading.
It's over trading, and for my particular
trades
style,
you shouldn't
right?
be in. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you shouldn't be getting into these trades, right? And so, what my intention for this celebration is that it's to reinforce what you're looking for, and then also going, you know what? I am able to trade well, so I deserve something. I can afford to do something good for myself or my loved ones or my friends. Go do it. Make it fun, right? Or for some strangers, it's okay, right? But on the flip side, if you go out and you celebrate too much, you might want to consider not trading the next day. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going and celebrating.
Continuing your celebration because you're allowed to.
Yeah, and you're allowed to. And just don't ruin your account the next day.
You deserve it.
So don't let it turn into something negative. So that's just a quick topic on that. The stress relief, right? So, trading can be very stressful, especially while you're learning. So how are you going to reduce it? You got to make a plan for reducing the stress you have in your life. Maybe a new baby, new family, new living arrangement, whatever new stress is coming into your life. I was talking with one of our members who their daughter had a baby and is now going back to work, and now she has to also help take care of the baby. And her work schedule also changed, and so that's changing her trading hours.
Oh,
and
I
it's
feel
not
her.
adding stress, right? So,
Feel her.
so you have to adapt, right? So the
Yeah.
point is that all these things are going to happen. So you got to then go, okay, how do I reduce the stress? And she was talking about this trading, and she's like, what am I going to do with my trading with all this? I said, you know what? It's make it okay to not trade every day. You have
So,
other things that you have to take care of, but
and
also,
my wife would call me out about this if I didn't say this, so I'll just
okay,
say it. Another thing you can do to one, either for stress relief, I probably get a massage once a week. So,
oh,
you
absolutely,
know,
yeah,
treat yourself, guys. That could go into celebration.
yeah, definitely.
And,
It's
exercise, meditation, mindfulness, massage. Make sure you're taken care of. If I'm not sitting comfortably and able to trade and sit here and be focused because I'm in pain, I'm not going to be able to make money.
yeah,
It's a problem.
yeah.
So
It's just
sorry, I didn't
no,
mean to
no,
add
no.
that, but
It's
that's
okay. No, we don't
another.
want to forget that. But that's
Um,
another something else you can put into your process is to take care of your self care.
it could be a reward too. Say, hey, if I make sure I don't overtrade and I'm green 4 out of 5 days and I hit my actual goals, I should do that for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the other thing I had that came of that is when you do have this stress, and what I was trying to get to was um, sometimes you have to adapt your trading and how you trade so that you can accommodate the new stresses in your life, right? Don't keep trying to do everything that you normally have been doing, then have this new stress come in and try to take care of that and try to do everything. Your trading is going to end up suffering. Okay, so what you need to do is be smart about it. Go, okay, what do I know? What are the times I have? What are the times that I'm available? Okay, you know what? That's a different from what I've been doing in the past. Okay, that means I need to size down and I need to learn. I might need to even learn new trade setups or new trading system because what was you were trading before, because of work or other responsibilities, you can't do that anymore. You might need to shift completely from going scalping to swing trading. There's all kinds of different things that one can do to continue to benefit, but you really need to make the conscious effort to address whatever those stresses are so that you can relieve that stress. Okay. And consider exercising, meditation, yoga. This is what I was talking about. Improve your trading process and methods, right? You might, whatever those things that you have to do, you have to reduce that stress. That otherwise it will break your psychology and it's going to mess up your trading. Okay. All right. Next one. Mental focus. So make sure you're, with all of this, as you're doing and you've got your personal well-being, you're feeling good and you're taking care of yourself, make sure that when you're doing your trading, or actually not even just trading, anything that you're doing, do it with intention, right? I do it with intention. I'm doing this because of this. I want this out of it. I want whatever. And then you let it go, right? It doesn't have to, but make sure that you're doing it with some intention, not just going with the flow, right? You want everything to do that you're doing to support your goals in life. Okay, I want to be a better trader. I'm constantly stressed out. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do it 3 or 4 days a week. I'm going to go for 35 minutes. I'm going to let whoever know that not to disturb me during this time. This is my time for me. I'm going to go to get a massage every Friday at 5 o'clock. That's fine. Whatever it is, do it with that intention. And then even when you're getting that massage, going, hey, isn't it great that trading is letting me afford to be able to get a massage? Right? Like, validate it, right? So that you're doing this, or that, hey, I had a bad week, but I need this to get recentered and get my body feeling right. It's okay, but hey, just acknowledge at what you're doing, and is it supporting the goals that you have, whatever that might be. And
if what you're doing isn't supporting your goals, why are you doing it? more importantly. So if you find yourself doing things that have a repeat pattern of not supporting or going against your goals,
They're not servicing you,
right?
yeah.
Taking trades, oversizing, losing money, stops too tight. The million things I hear from, folks all the time. Guys, why are we doing them? Right? If it's not going towards that common goal, let's figure out the way to fix that.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, you know, one other thing is, everything that you're doing, both in trading and even out of trading. For me, developing a risk reward thinking habit. It's kind of I've noticed that changed once I became a trader and I started doing everything with that. A lot of things I think about. What's the risk reward? Almost everything. Is it worth going and doing this? Okay, what's the risk? Hey, what's the reward if I go do it? Is it worth it? And your friends might start changing the way they think of you, but it's serving you. So just do what you need to do. And then remember, just always remember that your own mental health and physical health, it's critical, right? Not even just for trading, just in life. Take care of yourself, right? If especially like if you want to be able to take care of others, you need to be able to take care of yourself. If you're running yourself ragged or you're whatever and you're not able to take care of yourself, how are you going to be able to take care of those that you care about? Right? So make sure you're doing that, please. I think that's most of what we wanted to cover. Is there anything else you wanted to add, David?
No, I mean, I think that was hit most of it. Was a pretty good with that. I think we're kind of getting towards the tail end of the hour here, so we should maybe wrap up with a tip or something. I think.
Yeah, I didn't have one to this week, so
you didn't have.
Yeah, so other than go exercise, guys.
That's true. Well, there we go.
Go exercise. That's the tip. Go exercise, breathe, be mindful of everything you do in your life.
Yeah. And, one more thing with exercising, great for clearing your head. So if you're ever, you had a bad trade in the morning or you're not feeling the markets, take some time off, go to the gym, go take a walk, go run, clear your head, come back and take a fresh look at it. Okay. That's one thing I used to be very good about it. At my, but before I moved to this house I'm currently at, because I was really close to the gym. And I honestly, every day, 11:30 Central Time, I left and was at the gym. And it was just my habit, and if I wasn't having a good day or wasn't seeing the markets, I would just shut it down and leave early because it didn't matter. I wasn't going to waste my time there. So guys, enjoy it, make a habit of it and love it. Oh, we might have a question or two. Hold on one sec. Okay, the audio and slides are fine. And then this is maybe off topic, just interested in knowing what is the THT course success rate. And so Sandman, by success rate, what are you looking for? What are we talking about? Because there's a lot of ways of defining success. So I just want to understand what you're looking. Are you we have certain targets that we would like our students to be at, from like a win rate, it basically kind of average win loss per trade. So that's kind of what we target as a business. And now obviously students will vary in between there. But that's kind of how we look at it, because that's one of the ways that THT focuses its business plans and its students and its the way the course is set up. Spectre, you want to talk to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to get everyone to at least a 60-70% win rate. With it's stuff in the course, I don't want to go too much into it. But now with regards to, I don't have the metrics yet for success rate. It's kind of very personal for each person. And I haven't found a perfect way to get everyone to report how they're doing in their trading. So I don't have enough compliance to be able to give you the numbers on the success rate. So I don't want to say one way or another of how things are at. So but yeah, but our goal and mission is that one should be able to hit that 16%. I mean, we want people to hit 70% plus, but the model is essentially that if you can do a 60% win rate, your account is still going to be growing nicely.
Very nice.
And and some folks are hitting 80-90% win rates. So, and then there's others that aren't. I mean, they're in the 30-40%. That's just until the skills develop. That's going to be part of it. And it's all part of the learning.
Yep. And Sam, you're welcome. I'm glad you found this helpful. Feel free, reach out to us. Let us know any topics, any questions you have. If you have topics you'd like us to talk about or cover in a future program, we'd be happy to. And also, Sam, go to our site, edamomo.com/THT. You'll find out more information regarding the THT program. And love to connect with you offline about that, okay?
Great. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming and joining us. And we'll see you next time. Hi, Alyssa.